Hi folks, I'm Sean McCormick, welcome to the channel. Yes, it's been a while. I'm now making a video because I've just decided I'm just going to make a video and that's it. I do need to plan and make more videos, and I've been wanting to do stuff for ages, especially plugins and things like that. But right now I want to talk about something that's been around for a while, but it is probably the most remarkable thing that's been added to Lightroom in a very, very long time. And that is Denoise. It's part of the raw enhance set, along with like raw details and super resolution as well. So let's have a look at it. So I mean, we might as well start off with this wildlife shot. So wildlife would be a typical thing that you would need to do some denoising on, because a lot of the times you're using really, really long focal lengths, and to avoid camera shake you use high ISO so you can get the shutter speeds that you need. Or the light is really, really low sometimes, as in the case of this one. This is an old image now. So shot at ISO 100 and on a much older camera, which is like a 20D, I think. So ignoring all the other stuff that's gone on, this obviously isn't edited at all. If we go to D for develop, and we come down here to detail, we can see we got this new button here. This is Denoise. So the idea with Denoise is that you are creating a new raw file which has noise taken out of it. Now, I'd love if it was directly in it and was just part of it, but the whole point of this is part of that enhanced package, because of the fact that it's doing stuff that takes way more processing power than is normally acceptable. All right, so let's just click Denoise and see what goes on. So we can see here that it brings up the enhance menu, enhance preview. So you could actually bring it up from the enhance itself. Right. So what's seen here is that. So let me just drag it across to somewhere that's really obviously noisy, like the sky, just here on the edge. Okay, look at the difference. Amazing. All right, that's only at 50% as well. Just click. Now the only thing that I'm seeing here is we are starting to lose some of the detail, but no, there we go. It's not bad there now. Okay. So this one, because it's a small file, it's only an 8 megapixel file from what I remember, and it takes 5 seconds. The newer files I have take a lot longer, which you'll see in a minute. So we literally just click enhance. It's going to create a whole new file. We can see here that it says reduce noise with AI. So it's AI based noise reduction. It's really, really good. You saw that in the preview. It's really, really impressive. Now we don't have any settings on here at the moment. But if you have settings applied, it will apply the settings. Now, the thing about it is that it can interfere with masks and stuff like that, and you will get a warning on that. So it's better to do this at the start of your workflow, basically. Now, this has got the standard 40 sharpening applied. A lot of people ask questions about sharpening. Should there be no sharpening for the eye? It doesn't matter. It's working directly on the raw file. So it's ignoring all the settings anyway. Okay, and that's supposed to be 100%. It could well be 100%. Yeah, that's a bad sign for how big my screen is. Anyway, so this is the image, and as we can see here, it's a phenomenal difference. But we can come in here now, if we're worried about that detail kind of stuff, we now have an opportunity to come in here with masking. So I'm holding down the Alt key or Option key there to get that, and then we can increase the sharpening even more, and let's zoom in. Now, we're obviously, when we're looking at this, what percent? Well, we're looking at 200% here, right? So we're not expecting to see this correctly because Lightroom's only guessing when it's not 100%. Okay, again, masking, and we could just increase the sharpening again. Oh yeah, there we go, way, way more detail. And even just bringing up the actual detail, that's slider stuff. Apparently I did have a small bit of editing done without knowing it. The whites were brought up. Okay, yeah, so there we go. So, look how clean it is back here. It's so clean, it's really, really, really good. Okay, let's jump on to another kind of image we would use for this kind of astrophotography. Now this is one where I've already done an edit on it. There's a bunch of stuff done on it. And I've actually learned how to edit differently since then. So I will be applying that stuff to stuff in the future. And as I get better at it, I will probably do a little bit of video on it as well. Anyway, but what we're going to do here is, again, we're going to same story, D for develop. We're going to go into detail again, grab and denoise. We can see here this is taking a little bit longer to get it. And it's giving us a 15-second estimate. All right. So can you see the difference in there? Look at that, it's phenomenal. Look at the color noise that's there, and now it's gone. It's just, yeah, it's unreal. Again, so we just leave it at 50%. I don't think it needs more than that for this. You can have less if you want, but again, that's going to be 15 seconds now. And again, it creates a new file. Just to mention as well that normally below this, you just see manual noise reduction. That's where the old controls are. They're still there for you to use if you want to use them. But it will change. So because like this is on with the color on for this file, but when we go to the new file, we will see what the manual settings are at. And this is it. These take time. And that's the whole point of why it's not being done on every raw, just because it just takes those time. So you see now, because of the fact that the noise reduction has been applied, the color noise is now at 0. So because it doesn't really need to add more. That's probably 200%, is it? Yes, let me jump to 100%. Yeah, phenomenal. There is a little bit of motion in here as well. Some of that was the lens that was being used, and some of it is literally just the rotation of the Earth as it goes. Because this is what 30-second exposure. 30 seconds is probably the limit of what you can do even with wide lenses. So phenomenal. Just the difference is phenomenal, and the detail you can get back from it is really, really good. Now obviously there are settings applied. This is sharpening 25. Sharpening 25 is the old sharpening setting that was there. So I would actually probably mask this again and then sharpen a little bit more, just so that we have way more details in the actual stars themselves. There's obviously motion blur there, that's different. Sharpening is not going to fix motion blur. So that's phenomenal. Now you can batch these, so you can select a bunch of images and do that. We may go to this folder in a second and grab a few and just do that as an example. But first I am going to go and just grab a concert image. Concert image shot at ISO 2000 on a brand new modern camera. Okay, so this was shot on the X-T5 probably. Do I have this set up as a... Let's say it's on the X-T5. Let me jump down here. Yeah, X-T5. Right, so we're concerned about what's going on here. All right, it's pretty smooth for what it is, right? Okay, but D for develop. All right, same story down to detail, grabbing the wrong, and denoise. Now, while we're waiting on this all to happen, this is a much bigger file, so we can see that this is obviously going to take a fair bit longer. Estimated time. See, he hasn't even got it up yet. Yeah, 20 seconds. I figured it would be at 20 seconds. But look, as I hold there, look at the difference. How smooth and clean that is. So I click enhance. All right, and that did that 20 minutes or 20 seconds doing that. So it only works on your standard RAW file, the standard non-demosaic, non-linear file. So it doesn't work on SRAW or MRAW or any of those smaller RAW files. They're actually linear files. So they've already been demosaicked essentially, and and just packaged as another file. So it doesn't work on them. The same with the DNG conversion. It doesn't necessarily work on I don't think it works on DNG at all. I think I've tested that and it didn't work for me. But the basic is that right now it only works on a RAW file, the one from your camera, and that's the full size RAW. Okay, a lot of people complain, oh, I can't get it to work. It's because they're trying to do it on MRAW or SRAW or stuff like that. Okay, look at that. Look how smooth that is, right? Okay, still plenty of detail there, editable as well. But yeah, look, it's just the smoothness here is just phenomenal. Okay, and this is what makes Denoise so good. Is it literally, so the stuff that I'd be worried about, I might even jump back now and get a really old file and try it on, just for it from way back in ancient history from me shooting gigs, and back on the old D60 and D30s. But if I had known now that this was coming out, I probably would have taken more risks with ISO on older shots of mine. And that's what makes this so phenomenal. So let's do two things now. We'll look at an old shot and then we'll look at a batch. So I'm just going to grab these images here and go to develop this one. Right. So we have this where we can denoise. Now the noise isn't terrible in this. It's ISO 1600. So it's not terrible. And there was lots of light. And the thing is, when there's lots of light, you don't see the noise in the same way. But there's clearly noise in here. Right? What I'm going to do here is I'm going to select all of these images, right? And I'm going to go to develop. I'm going to click denoise. All right. Okay, and so it's 25 seconds estimate. And see here now, because we've selected multiple images, it's going to go enhance 5 images. What it's going to do is going to take these settings and it's going to basically enhance them. So let's pull up here and let go without enhance. With enhance, see how smooth that is? Massive difference. Enhance 5 images. So now it will go through the process of all of the images. Let's just bring this down here, and then it'll creating DNG using Denoise. So it's telling you what it's doing. What it's now going to do is going to go through each of these images. Now I'm obviously not going to make you sit through that. Right, so let's press G for grid, and we can see here that we have these as let me get rid of all this on the side and make some of this a bit bigger. We can see here we've got the 2s to indicate that they are done. So basically it's gone through all of them and edited all of them. So we now have that lack of noise here, which is phenomenal. So the way I would use Denoise in that kind of batch situation is that I would do it as my last thing. So what I would do is I would go and I would make my selects first. So that way I'm only absolutely using denoise on the images that really need it at the end. So let's say I shoot for the Thin Air magazine and I've done the set to 25. Well, whatever, 600 images I might have shot in my first 3 songs with the band. It might be just, we're down to 25, set of 25, and that would include the support acts and stuff like that. And then I would have them and I would just run denoise on them and just let it run. And then I would go and do my edits from there. It's just the easiest way to do it. So workflow wise, yeah, try and do it at the start of the edit. But if you can't, you just may have to go back and reset some stuff with masks and stuff like that. But generally speaking, it doesn't matter that much, but try to do it at the beginning. But you can see that, and for me, it's phenomenal, the difference. It's literally one of the game changers when it comes to certain types of work. Concerts, astrophotography, it's just phenomenal. It just takes away the pain of worrying. So now I can shoot at ISO 6400 without going, and it'll allow me to get shorter exposures, which means it'll lessen that motion blur, like we saw there, for example, on wider lenses and stuff like that, or even tighter lenses. Folks, hopefully you got something from that. I'm not doing the whole super excited YouTuber voice. It's just not me. All right. But thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video. And hopefully that video is much sooner than the last video. All right.